As if there wasn't enough news this Friday night, we are bracing for more to come. And that's because the Trump Organization is expected to face criminal charges from Manhattan District Attorney Cyrus Vance as early as next week. That's according to multiple people familiar with the matter, including the company's lawyer, who says it looks like they are going to come down with charges against the company, and that, he says, is completely outrageous. He says company lawyers met with Vance's office on Thursday and tried to persuade them not to go forward. But I guess that didn't work out too well for them. This follows the news from the New York Times that Trump Organization CFO Alan Weisselberg could be charged individually as well. Prosecutors have long been investigating Weisselberg with an eye toward flipping him against his boss. They're scrutinizing the tax implications of the perks he and his family reportedly received from the company, like free tuition and free rent. However, there could be more. We know that prosecutors are also investigating whether Trump's company inflated or deflated the value of assets to get favorable loans or to avoid taxes, which would be fraud. Joining me now is Cynthia Alksne, former federal prosecutor, and Frederick Lawrence, former assistant U.S. attorney for the Southern District of New York. Thank you both for being here. Ladies first, I'm going to go to you first, Cynthia. The part about the company getting prosecuted and maybe Weisselberg being prosecuted separately, does that feel to you like they're having trouble flipping him?
They're definitely having trouble flipping him. I think this is, when I was in the Brooklyn DA's office at some point, we used to have a term for it, which isn't very attractive, but it's a blank on the bar contest. I mean, here it is. They've been telling him for a long time, you have to flip. And he's been telling them, I'm not going to. And now the deal is, show us what you got. And so they're going to indict him. And this is a real pressure to get him to flip. And it's interesting because it does require, if these indictments really happen, the Trump Organization is going to have to make a decision, and he's going to find out whether or not they're going to support him or not, or whether they're going to say, well, we didn't do that. Weisselberg did all that. But that's what's coming down the pike. Now, if they give him up, that will help inspire him to flip. So we'll see. There's a lot of a dance going on right now about the way any indictments, if they really come, how all the different parties react to them.
That's a really interesting point. Very good points. Frederick Lawrence, can you explain what does it mean for a company to get indicted versus an individual person?
The company is indicted. The company is not going to go to jail, obviously, but it is subject to criminal penalties and fines. At the same time, the individuals involved in the company still have liability for their individual responsibility. So I think what's going on, I think Cynthia's got it just right. They've been squeezing and squeezing, and now we're seeing the end game of squeezing. This is letting Weisselberg and other Weisselbergs, right? I mean, the other people in the organization, we don't know who else they're talking to, letting them know the boat's about to leave the port. So if you want to be on the boat, this would be the time to do it. Yeah. My guess is that there are a lot of final discussions between those folks and their lawyers are saying, here's your risk, here's your exposure. Do you want to hang tight and be loyal, or is this the time to cooperate? Because their leverage is about to drop decidedly next week once these indictments come.
And to your point, Cynthia, the Trump lawyer, Ron Fischetti, said they could not get Alan Weisselberg to cooperate and tell them what they wanted to hear, and that's why they're going forward with these charges. ABC News reported earlier this month that Cyrus Vance, the Manhattan District Attorney, brought the Trump Organization's controller in to testify before the special grand jury, which is deemed, at least by ABC, as a sign that prosecutors have burrowed deep into the company's finances. If, in fact, it's a company getting indicted and not an individual, can you spell that out a little bit more, Cynthia? Does that mean that, let's say they find the company did something wrong, are they just going to fine it out of existence? Or if it's like an LLC, because LLCs are actually on your personal taxes, right? Wouldn't it mean that some human being at some point has to also be indicted, besides Weisselberg?
Here is the important thing to know. Indictments can come next week, and then 10 more indictments can come the week after and can supersede. The fact that they do this indictment doesn't mean that it's completely over. So my guess would be this is a starting point, and it has a specific goal, and that is to get everybody's attention and to flip Weisselberg, and then there'll be more that's coming down the road. It's important what you say about the controller testifying, because unlike federal court, where we're used to people being forced to testify in the grand jury and having it just be kind of a way to get information, in state court in New York, if you testify in front of the grand jury, you get immunity. So the Connolly guy, who was the controller, who testified, now has immunity, whether he likes it or not. And that really creates another interesting situation. This creates so many complexities. For example, who testifies? Who takes the fifth? Who asks for a deal? who finds out that Trump is not loyal to them and who finds out Trump is. So, you can't even begin to draw out all the complexities of this right now. This is going to take a while to shake out.
And I have a question about that, because the fact is this is the end of Cy Vance's term. I mean, this could wind up bleeding into a next prosecutor's term. I'm curious to see how that plays out. But I do want to point out a couple other things. So Donald Trump's former bodyguard and the current COO of his company, it's weird that he moves people to weird jobs that don't seem to match. His name is Matthew Calamari. He's also being scrutinized in this same probe. Here's what Michael Cohen, Donald Trump's former personal attorney, said to Jimmy Kimmel last night about him and about Weisselberg.
They don't really need Weisselberg or Calamari. One of them will flip to save themselves. And once you get Calamari, you don't need Weisselberg. When you get Weisselberg, you don't need Calamari. But the truth is they don't need either of them because they have the documents to prove exactly the illegalities done by Trump.
Frederick Lawrence, is that accurate?
Yeah, I don't think so. They've got the documents to prove certain things, but the documents are unlikely to trace it all the way to Trump. That's why they need either Weisselberg or Calamari. That's why they've been squeezing these guys so hard. Trump is famous for this. For years, there's this Byzantine structure in his organization so that nothing seems to lead to his desk. Now, obviously, if he's the boss, he was involved. I can say obviously, but I can't prove it. They need testimony, and that's why they're leaning on these guys hard. And
Cynthia, can you speak to this, the part about Cy Vance being, he's leaving. There's a whole primary that just happened in part to replace him. What happens as the administration of that office turns over? Is it seamless that this just goes on? Does that maybe speed up the process of getting this done because Cy Vance is on his way out?
Well, lots of people speculate that it speeds up the process of decision making, or because he's trying to get this done for so long. But it's basically pretty seamless. These are professional people. This is a very professional office. And let me just say, I also agree. You can't do this case probably without Weisselberg. For those people who have nothing else to do at night, if they watch an old Apprentice show with Calamari, you will see that Calamari is not the brains of the organization. He's not the answer to this prosecution.
Is anyone the brains, though? I mean, real talk.
Somebody was the brains.
Yeah.
Somebody is the brains. I agree.
That's right.
And you have to have more than documents to show intent on this. And so on this one occasion, I will disagree with Michael Cohen's legal strategy.
Okay, well, I will say that as somebody who never watched The Apprentice and wasn't a fan of it, maybe I'll go back and try to find something on YouTube so we can
Just this one
time. One time. All right, it won't kill me one time.
Research.
Cynthia Alksne, Frederick Lawrence, have a happy weekend. Thank you both very much. Still ahead, the Justice Department is suing Georgia over new voting laws that it says unfairly discriminate against black voters. Well, welcome to the party, Mr. Attorney General. Glad you could make it. We'll be right back.